New week, and of course, we have a new market watch. So we're looking at all of our Star Wars Unlimited prices once again for we'll call them the less flashy, less thrilling versions. That is, the regular versions, no foils, no hyperspace of the legendaries as well as rares. However, I will say that we got some additional comments from people for some other suggestions, and it's going to change up the format a little bit. We're going to add showcases to this, at least for now. I'll explain why when we get to that section. But if you're interested in any other details, let me know down in the comments what you want to see or hear about, especially as we creep closer to set 2. As you'd imagine, trying to keep this short, concise, and have everything on screen simultaneously is going to be more and more challenging with set 2 introduced in the mix. So, for example, if you want to see the top 10 cards that are moving up, top 10 cards that are moving down, or the top 10 most expensive cards, or the top 10 cheapest cards, or whatever else, any other grouping, because I don't want to completely put Spark of Rebellion aside when set 2 comes out. But we may have to. We'll have to see. Let me know what you think and what you want to hear about. But with that out of the way, let's take a look. Now, I'll put the new section at the end, so you're going to have to wait until then. But we're going to look at the legendaries first, and you may be a little surprised, at least compared to previous weeks, but we're getting a lot of red. We're getting some downward price pressure. Of course, for some reason, Black One is moving up. I was talking to some people at a local showdown this weekend, and one of them was absolutely convinced that Black One is going to be a $50 card. I don't know about that, but it does seem to be moving up a little bit. There's definitely some interest there. Change of Heart moving up. Devastator gaining some ground, as well as Home One, and ironically Mace a whole whopping 2 cents, but it is neither here nor there. The other ones, notably Vigilance and Super Laser Blast, taking a hit. Maybe those blue control decks are falling out of favor, or everybody who was looking to build it finally has gotten them. And notably also Cunning, which had shot up to incredible levels. Spoiler alert for one of my later videos this week. I might have some thoughts on that one, but it's dropping down. I think we're starting to see we're getting to where things probably should be. There is a level of, hey, these cards are going to cost a certain amount because just the simple rarity of them. But we are, until we get another spike in demand, I imagine an influx of people around set 2, we're probably going to see movement like this going forward. I mentioned on a previous video, I expect things to slide down until probably sometime after set 2 release, when people realize, oh, hey, all those set 1 cards are still good. At least the ones that may still be meta relevant. We'll have to see when that comes up. Now, one thing I didn't mention as we slide over to the rares is that, of course, a lot of these things are still selling. I'm not putting numbers up here. I haven't really found a great way to track them, but there was a previous comment about seeing how many are sold. Again, spoiler alert for the later section, but here, when we're looking at legendaries and rares, there's frequently a lot of sales, like a reasonable number to say, yep, this isn't, oh, well, one sale completely threw off the entire equilibrium. Instead, we're looking at a number of things, and it's reasonable to see these prices going down. Again, saturation, people having access to things. The rares are naturally much less rare than the legendaries. I know, shocker. We're really revealing unseen truths here. But overall, there's nothing that's really jumping out to me that is incredibly surprising. And the percentage changes here, as you can see, yeah, we got like a 44% increase on Frontline Shuttle, but it was a 28-cent change. We're not looking at things that are all of a sudden, hey, this random rare shot up $10 because whatever the reason is. We are seeing a little bit of a decrease, some minor fluctuations in things like Red 3. I don't know how much you can read into these. Again, it's just going to be, we're never going to have a true 100% steady all the time for everything, even though I'm looking at Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan had a 0% change since last week. But it did fluctuate in the interim days, so it happens. So now the new and exciting, fresh and hot section that, as mentioned at the beginning, I'm not sure if we're going to continue to keep this, only because I don't know how valuable this is to everyone. You'll have to let me know. These are the showcases. I elected to do this because it was, air quotes, trivial to track. As this grows with set 2, like I said, it'll become more difficult. But here's the rub. As compared to the previous set of legendaries and rares, where there were tons of things being sold, we have a lot of information to say, yeah, there are a number of people out there willing to spend whatever this is or not spend, and therefore driving the price down and people buying at a lower price. Here, we're talking single-digit sales, and oftentimes 3 or less in the last week. Admittedly, less data. I put the video out, got the comment on Tuesday, so I only started tracking it on Tuesday, hence why we don't have the information. But I don't anticipate this is going to change too much. What's a little strange to me overall, admittedly not having really looked at this, is I don't know who's spending $800 for that Boba Fett. I imagine a lot of people who have it, because I played against people with a number of people who have showcases as their leader. First of all, I personally would put that thing up on TCG Player eBay immediately. I wouldn't hold on to that because I'm not, unless I was planning on selling it later. I absolutely would not play with it, but that's not, to each their own kind of thing. But I don't know. That's enough dollar bills that I don't think I'd want to do it. But either way, like I said, we're not getting a significant change. A lot of these prices seem relatively stagnant. So we're not seeing a big change here with the prices overall. Really, they're pretty stable. I'm not sure exactly when they stabilized at this, since, as mentioned, I only started tracking it last week. We'll give it a shot for a few weeks and see what happens. There is something interesting to note that goes outside of Star Wars Unlimited, and that is Lorcana. So Lorcana had a similar problem with their Set 1 cards, and there is a rumor, and don't take this as gospel, somebody mentioned this to me at a showdown this weekend, that there's apparently a rumor floating around that the showcases will not get reprinted at the end of the year reprint. I don't know where that came from. I've never heard that. I don't know if I buy that. But the reason I bring up that and Lorcana is Lorcana had this shortage for Set 1, had a lot of difficulty, and the Enchanteds, which is the equivalent of showcases, they are pricey. They are super pricey. I mean, the Elsa, I just looked at it last night, is like $1,000. So how does that inform us for Star Wars? I'm not sure. If this rumor is true, obviously the supply of the current Set 1 showcases is going to be extremely limited. However, are people going to care? Since we're only seeing 2-3 sales this past week for this, maybe everyone who wanted a showcase has a showcase. And there's very few people out there who are interested and are willing to shell out $200, $300, $400, all the way up to $800 for some cardboard. It's something to consider. I'm interested to see where this goes. Like I said, I'm going to have to see how often we get sales for these and what the information is. But that's it for this week. Let me know what else you want to hear about and what other things you'd like to see for future content in general. As I mentioned before, I'm going to plan on trying to do some Star Wars Unlimited streaming. Link for that is, of course, in the description with all the other places you can find me, including my Discord and the like and subscribe button. Got to get those in. But that's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time for more Randoms Thoughts.